1970, Pasir Mas, Kelantan. In this rural corner of Malaysia, the dusk air is heavy and suffocatingly humid. The case began when a 7-year-old boy walking home from his local madrasah failed to return, leaving behind only an abandoned bicycle. This map shows the region as it appeared in the 1970s. In the official archives, this incident is recorded as File 003, a designation for cases that didn't fit the standard crime reports of the era. When the boy vanished, the community looked to the forest. They blamed the bunian, supernatural spirits from local folklore, known for spiriting people away into another realm. This reliance on spirits served as a psychological shield. For a small village, it is easier to fear an invisible ghost than to consider that a predator might be living in the house next door. The folklore eventually gave way to a physical reality. Neighbors began to notice a specific scent drifting from a nearby home, a smoke that was cloying, sweet, and metallic, unlike any normal cooking fire. Local authorities eventually entered the home of a quiet neighbor. Inside the dark, traditional wooden kitchen, they found a scene completely unrelated to forest spirits. The suspect sat calmly by a grill. As shown in this image, he meticulously rotated pieces of meat on bamboo skewers over the charcoal. The police soon discovered a bucket near the stove containing the remains of the missing 7-year-old. The discovery of the bucket ended the talk of bunian spirits. Investigators realized the child hadn't been taken by a ghost. Rather, he was being systematically processed as a food source. The local police in 1970 lacked the vocabulary of modern forensic psychology. On this official report, they simply used a heavy stamp to mark the case as cannibal. Without a recognizable motive, investigators initially described the act as demonic possession. They looked for a supernatural cause because the reality was too difficult to categorize. Modern analysis looks instead at the brain. These red highlights show the amygdala and frontal lobe, areas that help govern empathy and moral reasoning. When the communication between these regions breaks down, the brain's moral compass effectively fades to black. This rare behavior is now studied as autophagia transference, a condition where a killer seeks to absorb the life force or traits of their victim. Under this psychological delusion, the killer doesn't see a person, they see a resource. This horrific act is not driven by hunger, but by a perceived need to consume the innocence of another. The suspect was eventually removed from the village and committed to a psychiatric hospital, where he spent his final years in a ward similar to this one. Reports from the facility noted a final, disturbing habit. He reportedly refused to eat anything but meat until the day he died. Fearing the impact on the community, authorities suppressed the most gruesome details. They allowed the village to keep its myths about the forest spirits to protect the collective sanity of the neighbors. File 003 remains in the archives as a window into a different kind of darkness. It suggests the predators we imagine in the woods are less dangerous than the broken logic taking root in the mind of a neighbor.